Hey there, adventurers, and welcome to Riddle and Rule, where we are uncovering the mysteries and the mechanics of Dungeons & Dragons. My name is Dan, and today I'm kicking off this exciting series as I deep dive into each plane of existence as they are detailed in the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide. We're starting right at the heart of it all, the material plane. If you love exploring D&D worlds as much as I do, do not forget to check out my other channel, KingLeoDnD. Starting this January, we'll be playing through the suggested adventures that are listed out in the DMG, playing each one of those different quests. But that's not what we're here for. Let's dive into that material plane. The material plane is the central hub of the D&D multiverse, the place where most adventures begin, and this is where your players are likely to feel most at home. This is the foundation for countless worlds. From the mystical spires of the Faerun to the gothic streets of Ravenloft, this plane is that stage for mortal lives where gods and magic and everyday heroes collide. This is what you think of when you think of D&D. This is the main place. Before we go further, I do want to hear from you. What is your favorite D&D campaign setting within this material plane? Thinking about the Forgotten Realms, Eberron, or maybe you did something homebrew. Let me know in the comments below where you like your hub to be within the material plane. So, back to it. What defines the material plane, I want to give just a couple key markers. One, if you're running your, maybe a homebrew story, or you're trying to just build out this campaign module that you're running, think about the diverse environments that exist on the material plane. It encompasses everything from bustling cities to that like wilderness, the forests, the caves, thinking about those places. It's a place of immense variety, where both natural and magical landscapes are going to coexist. Second, think about how magic and physics coexist. This material plane operates on familiar physical laws to us, but it's also infused with magic. It's a balance of that mundane and the extraordinary. So just think about what that balance looks like. How do you play out what happens naturally and physically, but then what shape, what impact has magic had on your material plane? Lastly, think of your material plane as a multiversal crossroads. This plane is unique because it's directly connected to each of the other planes of existence. If you look here, you can see that in the multiverse, the way that it's built out in the D&D book, all of it rests and is connected to the material plane. The material plane is the foundation. So just think about, how does your material plane interact with all the other planes? How do people travel and get to all of these other touch points within the universe? Later in this video, I'm going to give you some ways that you can potentially do that, because I am going to cover some planar travel in this video because it's so important and tied to the material plane. So, if you are running a campaign in the material plane, preparation is key, and here's a few tips for things to do when you're getting ready to run something in the material plane. One, just think about your world building. Whether you're using an established setting like Greyhawk, or you're crafting your own world, focus on creating a sense of place, where there are cultures, politics, and mysteries that are defining your setting. Second, think about grounding your storytelling, grounding it into familiar things. Unlike some of the more abstract planes that I'm going to cover in subsequent videos to this one, the material plane thrives on relatable stakes. Heroes defending a village, uncovering ancient ruins, rising up against a tyrannical leader. Things that feel common to us. They don't feel too fantastic. They don't feel too drawn away in our imagination, but it feels like a relatable world. Lastly, think about layered connections. Consider how elements from the other planes might influence your story. Think about portals, think about magical phenomena, or extraplanar villains crossing over into your world. Next, I just want to cover some of the common monsters held here. That's something I'm going to do in every single plane, even the material plane. The material plane is home to a wide range of iconic monsters. Some of them should include goblins and kobolds, perfect for those low-level adventures. Think about your dragons, these apex predators of the material plane, embodying that raw magic and power of the world itself. Think about your beholders and mind flayers. While they are tied to this cosmic horror, these creatures often make their homes deep in the caverns of lost ruins in the material plane. And also think about some oozes and undead. These are great for your dungeon crawls. These monsters bring a mix of mystery and danger and some form of otherworldly magic even to your material plane. Now I just want to cover how planar travel works. Planar travel may not be as common in the material plane, but it is crucial as an element of D&D if you're going to use a multiverse, if you're going to allow these layers and other planes of existence to impact and affect your material plane. So, one, think about natural portals. These can be hidden in ancient ruins and forests or mountains. These are gateways that can transport adventurers to the other planes, like the Feywild or the Shadowfell, those places that are closely tied to the material plane. Think about powerful spells. High-level magic like Plane Shift or Gate allows spellcasters to travel across the planes. They often do come with a great risk, though, so think about how you're going to let high-level magic impact. Then lastly, extraplanar influences. Sometimes the planes come to you. Think rifts, think summoned creatures. Think about some planar bleed that merges two realms temporarily. There can even be figures from distant planes that come to the material plane and can offer transport to the adventurers to go back to the realm that they're from. So, there's that. I want to talk about ways to work planar travel into your campaign, just some different things that you could do. If you want to incorporate planar travel into your campaign, here's a couple of ideas. One, mystery portals. Introduce a dormant portal that suddenly activates, leading to an unexpected journey. This can be just a quick wild left turn in the middle of your campaign where maybe there's nothing else quite going on, the party's adventuring, checking out some type of dungeon or place, and then the next thing they know, they're just thrust into this new plane, starting a completely different story, highlighting that high-level magic and maybe randomness of the D&D world as it is. Next, think about planar effects. Have strange phenomena like the Feywild's colors or the Shadowfell's fog seeping into the material plane, hinting that there's greater dangers there, and then maybe the barriers between those two planes are not as thick and distant as the players might think they are. And then think about using cross-planar villains. A fiend or a celestial may have their sights set on the material plane, drawing your players into a larger multiverse conflict. The material plane may seem like the most familiar part of the D&D multiverse, but it's also the one with the most potential for storytelling. Whether you're exploring its vast landscapes or weaving in elements of planar travel, it's the foundation of these epic adventures. So if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more of these deep dives into the D&D's planes of existence. Don't forget to share your favorite campaign setting in the comments below, and check out KingLeoDnD for our January playthrough of those DMG suggested adventures. Until next time, adventurers, keep rolling those 20s and weaving your tails.